Hello, my name is Estefania Trevino, and today me and my group would like to discuss a problem that we have been facing for many years and we still are facing to this day. The term U.S. citizen is seen something very normal to us. However, most of us don't realize how much of a privilege it is to be able to live in such a great nation. Many immigrants across the world are willing to risk their lives to be able to have a better life in the United States. However, we make the process harder for them by making the process longer and giving them years of jail time for trying to become into such a great nation. Immigration is found everywhere, but it's not as often everywhere else as it is in the United States, and it has created such a controversial issue in the United States as well. Immigrants from around the world are willing to risk their lives for any form of entrance into the United States, as well as any other country that might want to come to the United States. We deny them, and we make the process way harder for them. Whether it's done legally or illegally, they're still endangering themselves every single day and their families as well as children. Every year, hundreds of immigrants are abused by the justice system and many lives are lost, including children, elderly, and women. They are denied entrance into the United States even if they attempt the legal form and are placed by ICE into detention centers where they experience all sorts of abuse. In the detention centers, they give them aluminum foil as blankets, very limited food resources, and they keep them in cages. That is not a way of form of humanity for immigrants that are trying to have a better life. This problem has affected our nation, which include elections, protests, and racism. As you may know, our past president has said many racist things against our immigrants that are trying to find a better life for their children and their future generations. It is not wrong for people to attempt and have a better life. Two of the major issues at our borders are immigrant family separations and the denial of asylum seekers, which have brought injustice and corruption towards our immigrants. Now, these women and their children are trying to find a better life, and we separate them by allowing the children to stay here, and we send the parents back to where they came from, and I believe that is not right. Now, we make the process harder for them, and we give them a very long process, and they are not able to come into the United States until they get their visa. However, visas take many money that most people do not have, so it is not a wrong to allow them to come to the United States when they're just seeking for help and for a better life. The American dream is something that we should all be able to have at one point of our lives. I believe we take our American citizenship as a privilege, and it is something that we should be grateful for. The U.S. citizenship is seen as a privilege, and it should be something much more than that, than just for us.
As immigrants attempt to enter the United States and Mexican border, they are faced with many complicated decisions. One of which is to enter the United States illegally using a coyote, or to enter legally seeking asylum. However, it has been found that many immigrants prefer entering the United States illegally and are therefore caught by ICE, also known as Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE has been known to only arrest adult immigrants, which means any children found with those adults being arrested are then sent to the U.S. detention of child migrants. It is then that families are separated and are not seen together for many weeks or even months due to the processing. Although this has not always been the case, it has been found a very common thing during Trump's presidency ever since he ruled that any illegal border crossings are considered a federal crime. All adult immigrants are being arrested during their illegal entrance into the United States are then sent to jail, while the children are sent to detention centers. The thought of children being sent to detention centers and not back to their own country has caused a riot upon our country, due to many people being against the harsh treatment of children in cages. Many news outlets, such as The Guardian, have included pictures of people of all backgrounds getting together and protesting for something to be done. They have shown images of people holding up signs that said, families belong together, or in Spanish, familias merecen estar unidas. Communities stand with immigrants and have been found publicly displayed what immigrants face in the detention center. The Guardian promoted one activist group known as No Kids in Cages, which has shown many pictures of mannequins being placed in cages covered with aluminum blankets as to not show the immigrants' faces. As we've seen, family separation is not the answer to ending illegal immigration in the United States. This form as punishment, as we see, can be traumatizing to all who undergo it. Instead, the government should bring back the Family Case Management Program. The Family Case Management Program allows immigrants who didn't seek asylum to roam in the United States. However, although they are in our nation illegally, technically, they undergo intense supervision, have regular check-ins, and attend court. This program has been shown to be 99% effective, is cheaper, and allows immigrants to live the American dream. If you have done any research as to why immigrants cross into the United States, it's because they believe that the United States gives wonders. The reason why they refer to it as the American dream is because in Mexico, they had to work very long hours and get paid very few for the hours worked. When they see commercials of things in the United States, they see some bright lights, big buildings, a lot of money, a lot of cars, and are therefore influenced to find a better future. Although many people who have crossed illegally have been found to want to enter the United States legally, it has been found that it is a very hard process to go through. It takes months, sometimes years, to even get approved to go on to the next step to receive your visa. It is not 100% the children's fault as to why they are found here in the United States with their parents. Many of them are forced to come with since their parents have no other family in their nation.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Vela, and I'll be discussing the struggles asylum seekers face. Ever since Trump's presidency, ICE's policies are constantly changing. This makes it even harder for immigrants to legally cross the border. Recently, there has been a great amount of asylum seekers, as well as more asylum seekers cases being denied. Normally, immigrants seek asylum to evade war, threats, and murder from their home country. Although, with the increased amount of asylum seekers, the United States/Mexico border has become overfilled. This was shown on the Netflix documentary, Immigration Nation. This documentary showed the life of being an immigrant, asylum seeker, and detainee. As for asylum seekers, they displayed videos of them sleeping in the streets, patiently waiting to be able to cross for court. However, the streets of Mexico are overcrowded, and the asylum seekers themselves are taking track of the list. Instead of United States officials, the list of asylum seekers are done unprofessionally and are often forgotten about. The Netflix hit series also portrayed what the immigration court system is like. Immigrant judges stated that each day they are brought a form based on how many cases they can deny and accept. If they do not abide by these policies, they can lose their positions as an immigrant judge. This proves that the court system is unfair and provides no form of humane decisions towards immigrants and asylum seekers. One major conflict is the need for the incarceration of asylum seekers. The United States also detains them while they await their court date or visit with their lawyers. However, as stated before, most cases are denied due to the faulty court system. For example, an asylum seeker may provide hard evidence, but if a judge only has one case that very day, their case is going to be denied. On the other hand, Amnesty International has promoted their solution for asylum seekers. Currently, the United States treats their refugees as criminals, but Amnesty International has stated that we should provide asylum seekers a temporary visa. To continue, the temporary visa should be given while their cases are being reviewed, as well as they should not be tormented by ICE officials due to their asylum seeking status, and they should be provided human rights by being taken care of at the border. By human rights, I mean have their cases reviewed fairly, provide basics like education and healthcare, and resettle the most needy without incarceration. A feeling of welcome rather than fear. Human rights and a temporary visa can be the new form of bringing justice for asylum seekers. Thank you for your time.
Hello everyone, my name is Emily Lagos, and today I will be talking about the difficulty of illegal immigrants crossing the United States/Mexico border, and I will also be speaking about the illegal rights. In the long run, the United States has yet to provide a simple way for immigrants to legally reside in our country. The Guardian promoted the reality of what immigrant families face, and the activist group No Kids in Cages has raised the importance of health for those immigrant children. Immigration Nation displayed what immigrants should rightfully not be going through. However, Amnesty International has shown that immigrants should be granted rights. Whether you're from the United States or another country, we all have our basic human rights and should provide what's best for one another.